I'm here in what feels like the city, which should be the exact opposite of what it should feel from California. But Sandpoint, it's grown up a lot, which is nice. Everything is pretty great except for the weather, which was sunny and then raining, and now it's kind of sunny. It's definitely not warm like Tahoe, but there are coves like this, and Lake Pend Oreille is really big like Tahoe, probably bigger actually. It's just not a circle. It's like, I don't know, it's all jagged and long, but there's a lot of inlets, whereas Tahoe, when it's windy, it's impossible to paddleboard. Even after a big storm and there's a bunch of waves, the water's calm. So grabbing the paddleboard, which has been in Boulder, Colorado for over a year, and yeah, haven't paddled in a long time. So gonna give it a shot. And these storm clouds have passed because they look menacing, but I think they're going away from me rather than towards me. Lots of memories here at this beach. Behind me used to be the Edgewater Hotel, which now I guess is just purely condos, but right attached to it was a restaurant called Edgewater Restaurant. And boy, talk about like a great place to have your first job. You're working mostly outside in the summers on the beach. And yeah, it was good money and just a really good time. Overall, good time here at the beach. Right over here was the marina, and there used to be a little store where some of my best friends worked, and I remember it was like the coolest thing when you could afford to buy a new shark watch. And then you'd brag about it with all your friends, like, oh, I got the new colorway of the shark watch, which nowadays you basically can get for like $15. So I figured I'd just paddle over here, little nostalgia lane. This train bridge used to be a lot taller. It was probably like a good 40 feet in certain sections, because you could climb up these pillars and then jump off of, but now it's a lot lower. This has been like a day of sport and just experience a lot of nostalgia along the way. Way over there is the Long Bridge, which just goes across the lake, which I did this morning. There's always a certain side of it that is a pedestrian side, but I guess it's under construction right now, so that's not open. But there's a wide shoulder, so it was good enough. Everyone's pretty nice with cyclists now. Here also, back in the day, you get stuff thrown at you, and if you were wearing any kind of like lycra, people would yell faggot at you. And today I was half experiencing this truck barreling down the side of the road, and I thought maybe I'd get some kind of like obscene gesture, but I got a wave, so maybe Sandpoint's coming along and it's not a bunch of rednecks anymore. It's probably a lot of Californians. This is kind of like an outdoor paradise, at least in the summertime, and then the skiing and snowboarding at Schweitzer is on par with Tahoe resorts. So, I mean, I guess there's not a lot to dislike, other than you get a lot of these dark clouds. It looks like rolling in a lot more. So a lot more rain, but then it's a lot more green. Like Tahoe is very brown compared to this. I think I'm just trying to convince myself that this is a good place to be. I haven't fully convinced myself yet. especially with the thought of winter, but I'm just coming in the summer, so I've got lots of time. And you know, I've got a bike and I've got a paddleboard for exploring the land and the waters of North Idaho. So I think it's all good. One thing I was thinking about is I got this paddleboard from a pawn shop for $300 and my bike was a steal of a deal at $700. And it's funny, like all the really expensive things I tend to move on from, but these cheap items I get, I don't know, like I just tend to hold on to them for a lot longer than anything that's really expensive. Maybe because I know I can't get any money for them. Perhaps it's just that they're more user-friendly. Like this paddleboard is kind of like one that you could paddle around on, you could lounge on it. And so it's just easy to have, it's easy to transport. So it's just something that I've just never really given up. Whereas the boards that were thousands of dollars, I've gotten rid of them. I don't know, maybe there's something to be said for getting cheap and expensive things. So back in the day I used to work in this bridge at a little deli in there. It was called the Coldwater Creek Bridge. Now it's the Cedar Street Bridge. But I remember looking out on this little part of the, I don't know if this is like a river or, I guess a river, it's not a stream. But there's these little windows. And I was working in the deli and one of my coworkers said, "Oh, look outside, there's a moose swimming across the river." And instantly, like, guests and patrons getting sandwiches heard that. And they literally jumped over the counter to look through the window and like smashed me into the wall, into the window, trying to see the moose swimming across this river here. Which, as you can see, isn't like very small. So it took a while, but everyone was super excited to see a moose, which growing up here, you know, we see them all the time, so it's not like a big deal. So all of us were like, calm down people, it's not a big deal. But you know, if you come from any southern part of the country, I mean, that's quite a sighting. And even now, like, I would love to see a moose just kind of roam through town, but I think they're probably a lot more rare. Just from the fact that this place has just been so built up. Like there's a trail right here. This used to all just be forest, swampland. And so much is like just been built here. Boy, I keep thinking that this waterway is gonna end. It gets really shallow and narrow in between all of the shoreline and like the, I don't know, the grassy areas. But then like it gets deeper and just keeps going. I mean, I've gone a long ways, much further than I thought. I should have started out coming here instead of going into Lake Pend Oreille. But nostalgia was strong and it was pulling me just to see those areas. And I didn't think that the sun would come back out like this. This is really amazing. The problem is I've gone a long ways because I kept on saying like, oh, just around one more river bend which then turns into another river bend and then another one. So at some point I've really got to turn around because I'm just doubling my distance, and I gotta get back at some point. Maybe just one more bend around this corner and then I'll really turn around. Well, even though that looks really cool down there, it kind of narrows up and goes around another bend. I mean, I've already done like 3 or 4 since I said I was going to turn around, so it's time. I think I'm like at probably, I don't know, 6 miles of paddling, which is pretty solid, I would say, for just getting back out here. I thought I was going to be weak, but oh, there's like a little encampment here. Someone actually has a canoe right over there. And we're pretty deep out here too. And there's like a little shack. Maybe someone's just like camping out here, living off the land. Well, that was good. I was pretty tired after riding the bike today, but I was just thinking, like, even if it's raining or the weather's crap, it doesn't really matter on the paddleboard. You definitely stay warm doing this. It's a workout. Probably one of the best forms of exercise I would say that you can really do. It's just so much strength and cardio and balance, just like basically everything. To be able to do it in a place like this, I suppose. There's a lot of life around here, like lots of ducks, geese, bears, moose, elk, deer, all kinds of stuff up here in the Northwest. And I think that there's no perfect place to be, but if not Tahoe, I think this is probably one of the next best. At least coming into middle of June and into September. After that, I don't know. It's been a while since I've been here. For winters, obviously. And with that, I think I'm gonna call it a day. What's funny is I probably wouldn't even be here if it hadn't been for getting that little dog, because it kind of made me realize that that's not fair for animals and definitely not fair for humans to be living basically 20 plus hours in a car and only respite for like walks and going to the gym for me and just walks for Kylo. So I guess that was the motivation to come back. And a lot of trains, and I was looking for every excuse in the book not to come, and it barely happened, but I guess by the grace of God it happened, and it's really nice being able to have a bed and make food and a house. That's for sure. I think I'm like the prodigy son that left and didn't have any inheritance, but blew every life opportunity, from marriage to kids to careers, and then did full circle coming back to where it all began.